First, I'm going to tell a scary story. Yes. I want you all to gather round. Gather round. Come, 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 come. Gather round. Now, it's not often that I tell these stories, but there are supernatural phenomena that defy explanation. There are things not perceptible to the rational mind, things you can't make sense of, like the light within a jack-o'-lantern. It all began on one chilly September night. Me and my friends were looking for an adventure. We're fresh out of high school. We wanted to find some fun. Oh, were we going to get the fun? But not the fun we were expecting. We were off on one chilly night in pursuit of going to an abandoned insane asylum. Thank you, Jennifer. So, this insane asylum has been abandoned for many decades. Somehow it's still intact. So we drove there. And we found a shortcut in a woods. You have to follow the trail within a forest in order to get there. So we walked along the forest, and I need you to imagine, I need you to picture this situation. We were 12 a.m. Currently waiting in cell queue. I want to ask you, fucking vibe-killing bitch. You fucking vibe-killing bitch. Fucking come back tomorrow. You fucking annoying vibe-killing fucking asshole. Anyway. Going back to... Pumpkins in the chat to clear the air. Jack-o'-lanterns in the chat. Jack-o'-lanterns in the chat. We're going back to our scary stories. Jack-o'-lanterns in the chat. Jack-o'-lanterns in the chat. Jack-o'-lanterns in the chat. Okay? So, picture this autumn chilly night. 1 a.m. We're in the forest. We have a flashlight, of course. There's noises in the forest. And we don't know where the noises are coming from. We walk along the trail until the forest gets narrower and narrower and narrower. Leaves are falling from the trees. They're turning orange. Trail is going down a dark, dark path, becoming more and more narrow. We walk along the path till we get to the edge of a hill. A few miles down, get to the edge of a hill. Something wasn't right. We looked over the horizon of our view, over many trees below us, and we see a fire. What? A fire? What the fuck? Who started a fire? It's a flame, and it was a narrow, tall flame that was just burning in the fucking middle of our POV. we were curious. We need to know what this is and where it's coming from. Naturally, we set out to go take a look. But it wasn't just a flame that we saw. We heard noises that were coming from the direction of the flame. I'll try to recreate them to the best I can as we heard them. We didn't know if it was human, and if it was human, we had more questions than we could think of. I can't tell you how we mustered the balls to walk toward that source, but alas, we did. Let me give some perspective, maybe. We were terrified. We wanted to go to this abandoned insane asylum, and it was literally right next to us. The complex was really big, so we didn't even know if this flame was coming from there or coming from something else entirely. But still, we followed the flame, and we followed the source. We walked up toward it, still having the higher ground, looking down below. And it was a section of the insane asylum. It looked like it was an abandoned recreational park, a place where people used to meet outside, except it had somehow been transformed and malformed in some kind of way, just perverted and twisted from its original purpose into becoming this, I don't know what else to call it, but an altar. It was used with the materials of the abandoned insane asylum, but it was twisted into the form of something religious. Something. These people were not just having a good time, you know. We thought initially that if these were people, maybe they just were on drugs or they were just lounging around and making noises, but everything seemed so organized and just deliberate. So we looked up and we could see that people were wearing these tattered clothes, right? Like rags. They kind of seemed like robes, but they weren't. They were just these tattered, large cloth that they were wearing over. It's just hard to explain, but it was just a very uncanny and unnatural sight. This tattered brown cloth that was just swaying as they were encircling this fire, which I'm not sure how was spitting just in a straight line upwards in the direction. And these people, as organized and methodical as it seemed, it just looked like they were losing control. They were encircling it consistently, but they... This was a terrifying sight, especially to one of my friends who had, you know, smoked a pen, you know. These people looked like they had lost control. But we kept looking. We just couldn't keep our eyes away. Looking at this in person just felt like some squeezy, just wrenching feeling inside of us. Almost like we were witnessing a traumatic experience for us. We stayed along. And then from the middle, there emerged a woman. She had very, very big, long hair. She seemed old, but extremely tall. And by tall, minimum 6'7". 6'6", 6'7". Tallest woman I've ever seen in my life. She had this cloth wrapped around her and these really long arms. And when she emerged, everyone just started to stop. And it started to straighten out like they had regained control. But the woman, she started to do something else. She lifted up both of her arms. Bring her! Bring her! Bring her! She didn't know what this meant. And at this time, you could imagine we just wanted to turn back and run. But we didn't. I don't know if it was fear or if it was something else. We decided to stay. She started chanting this weird... I'm trying to remember what she said. 1 for the measurement, 2 for the thrust. 1 for the measurement, 2 for the thrust. Take pen and paper for the measurement. 1 for the 2 for the thrust. 1 for the... She literally wasn't screaming this, but she was chanting it, and she was like whispering it loud, like 1 for the measurement, 2 for the, 1 for the measurement, 2 for the... She started to freak out, and then she started to seem like she was losing control. Thank you, DGG. Thank you, DGG. What we saw next is what we'll never forget. It looked like a body bag, but it was wrapped in linen, some kind of cloth. Again, the same brown cloth. And 6 people were carrying it, right? 3 on each side were just carrying this toward her. It didn't seem like it was moving, right? And they left it before this woman. The woman, she just froze. Her hair was covering her face, and she just froze. She was staring at it for like 15 minutes, nothing happening. We were scared to leave at that point, because if we moved, we felt like they would hear us, because there's just dead silence of her just staring at this fucking body bag. And we stayed there until finally she started to slowly move her head closer to the body. Keep seeing 1 for the measurement. Measurement. 1 for the measurement. She kept chanting this weird... I don't even remember the chant, but I feel like it was like that's what she was saying. And the woman came out of the bag. She crawled right out of there. And I shit you not, she made direct eye contact with me. Somehow, she detected my presence. My fucking heart dropped in terror. But you couldn't believe the fear in me when she started to crawl toward me in all fours. She crawled to me. Her head was still covered. Till she finally came this close to me, and I was silent and still like a statue. She moved down. Uh-oh. She unzipped my pants and started to suck me off. And I couldn't do anything. I was just frozen. And I was enjoying it. And I said, keep going, keep going, keep going. I said, when it was done, I said, what is your name? She looked up to me. This is what I won't forget. This is immediately when she said this, we all three of us ran away. She said, My name is Chat's mom. True story. True story. True story. 100% true story. 100% factual. True story. By the way. True story. True story. All the cucks that left, fuck you. Boring. Fucking boring. Fucking cuckolded. Boring fucking people who left.